Hello there, welcome back to Nagaur. Last time, well, we started war against Multan, we allied the Timurids, and I more or less pondered whether or not I wanted to go by land or by sea to get my, to some degree, westernization done. It's kind of a difficult one, to be perfectly honest, because there's so much you can, well, if you do something wrong, things are going to haunt you forever. But there's basically so many choices, and that is more or less what screwed me over. I ended up going with influence, basically wanting to conquer the territory here, and there's basically two paths for me now if I want to westernize, which I probably will. It's either waiting for Europeans to come here, or force my way to the Europeans and then try and sell them a little island. If it's possible, we'll just have to wait and see what we actually end up with. But funnily enough, if I find a European, I can probably just sell them an Indian province, provided, of course, that they have the mission. So it will probably be Castile or something along those lines, which of course would be fine with me. Again, Delhi is kind of in a problem right now. Not a good problem, a very bad problem, especially for us if you consider the circumstances that they are using their army to fight rebels, rather than Jaipur. On a positive note, I can probably use the situation to my advantage. Delhi will most likely fall after this due to the fact they're only allied with Bengal, and who do you think want to steal their provinces because they are, well, cheap? I do. I want them. So if I'm really lucky, the rebels will actually be able to force forth a new nation. We'll just have to see if we get that happen. If it does, then I'll probably wage war on said new nation, but we'll just have to wait and see how this war pans out first. Hopefully, I'll have my vassals and everyone deal with Jaipur here. If not, then again, it's going to be really, really interesting. For the time being, however, I'll just sit by and wait, and we'll see what happens. Worst case scenario, I get my ass kicked repeatedly, but let's hope we avoid that. So, interesting enough here, they more or less broke free right away, which is, of course, wonderful, because that means that I could potentially just go for really, really quick annexation here, especially considering that they are incredibly weak and thus are a very, very tasty and easy to eat morsel. I could just break my alliance down with Delhi, annex them, and then we can sing all the way to the bank. That's at least the plan. But before we can enact that plan, I kind of need to get these guys out of the war, and what better way to do that than just concede defeat? Basically, paying prestige to get people out of the war is how we do things. So it's not the worst thing ever. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. And again, if people will hate me, there will most likely be some sort of coalition in the near future. Let's just be perfectly honest. But that's kind of what's expected here, I dare say. Which is of course understandable. We'll break our alliance with Delhi pretty soon. I'm also going to most likely look for a new ally. Jaipur, I'm looking at you. Jaipur actually hates my guts. Oh, it's one of my provinces. Wow, good to know. Patiala, we're going to fight them more or less at once here. They don't have enough aggressive expansion to join a coalition, so we'll fabricate a claim, and we'll declare war basically as soon as... What? Guys, I'm not evil, I promise. Shit. So, I don't have any allies anymore. Not a single one, so conquest, here we come. And it's actually going to be really necessary. Molten, why are you so expensive? Well, it doesn't matter. I'll lower the unrest in the two other. This one is basically worth a lot, so I don't really want to lower it there. But negatives here, I have to fight wars on my own now, which is horrible. Let's face it, it's simply horrible because of the fact that we don't fight wars. We sit back and laugh at other people losing wars. So it's not the best thing ever. I'll allow the claims to be fabricated, and then we'll fight Patiala here. I definitely need to just... That's not unexpected. Baluchistan kind of hates my guts no matter what I do. But we will probably fight them. Gujarat will be a harsh nut. Let's just be honest. It will be really hard to beat them, I think. But I kind of need to just complete my puzzle here with Baluchistan and everything. The Timurids might turn against me here in the near future, and if they do, then I'm going down. Going down a fiery blaze, and I'm just going to laugh at it. So I can actually gain some admin power here in exchange for money and improve some people's, well, relations of me or feelings for me, and we'll do that. Mostly just for the admin power, I'll be honest. But I definitely need to get some allies up and running here, because if not, things are definitely going to turn rather bad rather fast, and these promises will not be cheap to core. 7, 9, 6, 5. So I actually might end up in a situation where I can only take these 2 provinces, which would not be the best thing ever, but it is what it is. You take what you can, and we'll keep on getting some piety, conversions and all that. But yeah, I'll just wait for this guy here to be done, and then we are going for another war. And here we go. Timurus still hasn't paid any of its death, so I'm pretty sure Timurus will only be a defensive ally. Oh my god! Running home! Bastards, come and join. There we go, they have joined up with our army. Again here, I'm a little bit unsure what I want to do. Fabricating flames. Again, Timur is in a really vulnerable position, but I don't have the firepower right now to deal with them. As bad that sounds, that is the truth. I would prefer it if I could actually ally Karakonli right now, because they are definitely they are powerful, even though they are Shias, so not the best ally I could ever get, but beggars can't be choosers, unfortunately. So let us just set up some sieges. You will no longer attach to this unit because of the fact that there's no need for you to attach to said unit, and I would prefer it if you could actually siege this province before they cause some issues for me. '13th of March. So I'll basically just 5 units queued for production. So yeah, I'll have to use this as basically a ping pong ball to, well, deal with the production line, if you will. Uno. 22nd of May. So yeah, I'll just ping pong back and forth. I'll siege the provinces, and once we're done with that, I'll get back to you. But unfortunately, yeah, I don't have to ping pong anymore because my vassal takes the job. There we go. The war is over. We can go for full annexation here, but we don't really want to. 45 aggressive expansion, 100%, 108% overextension. We'll just take these 2 provinces. They are pretty damn rich, 9 and 7. So they are rich provinces that will most likely yield a lot of money. I'm a little bit unsure. Can I actually vassalize these guys? Yeah, I can. Let's just be fair here. We'll clear our offer and we'll vassalize them instead. It will cost me a ton of aggressive expansion still, but I think that's actually the better choice. And again, reason's really, really simple. I could probably build a pretty substantial, well, power from these guys. Of course, they do still have a technology group Indian, but it's probably better, all things considered, that I do that rather than, first and foremost, piss all of the admin power on coring everything here. And also, of course, I do need the military power, and I won't get that from these provinces for a while. So, vassalizing them is probably the better move as the current situation is, I dare say. So, we'll be going with that. We'll be taking their money, and let's just wait here for the coalition office to run in, because there's going to be a lot of them. Unfortunately, here, as you can see, the Delhi has joined a alliance here with Malva, which is of course really, really bad, no matter how we look at it. I have to find a new ally. I have no idea who I want or who I could choose, but I think first and foremost here we need to destroy Baluchistan. It's more or less a fighting course behind us. Do I want to mess around with Gujarat, Baluchistan, Bamanis and Jampur? Basically they'll be able to join in Jampur if I do anything silly, but I think we'll just leave things as they are. Then I'll probably take 2 or 3 provinces from them, sell them to Mewar, basically use that as a way to attack Bamanis. But Manas is actually allied with Gujarat and Jampur, so it's basically I'm going to have to fight Jampur sooner rather than later. I would have preferred to have Bengal on my side for that, just basically as a buffer, more or less. So I'll probably start improving relations with Bengal and see if I can get an alliance with them up and running before that time. I still have a royal marriage with Malva. Why do you hate me so much? So the Timurids actually hate my guts and the alliance will break, and thus now we end up in a, well, unbelievable clusterfuck, because everyone is going to destroy me right now, I think. I'm pretty sure. Timurids will actually consider declaring war on me right now. So taking these three was apparently a really, really bad idea. But, yeah, they actually have claims to all four of these. So that's an issue. 1501. Yeah, all of this is 1501. So basically I should have considered that, but again, that is one of the dangers of playing Ironman. I definitely need to get an alliance up and running with Karakonlu then instead. Oh, we don't have positive relations with them, but they are currently improving relations with us, so that's neat. That's very, very good. I do have a royal marriage with the Timurids, but I kind of have to just go one over here to protect myself. That's basically it. I need to protect myself against those that want to be evil, and there's a lot of them. So in this case, Gujarat do not have an army. What? Do I want to try and blitz Gujarat then? I could go for some kind of blitz warfare, basically playing now, getting Jampur into it, and also Gujarat. If Gujarat does not have an army, then we can just aim at crushing Baluchistan. Rely on a ton of loans, mercenaries, you know, the usual drill. But yeah, if Gujarat does not actually have an army, then things are definitely looking up. So I'll have to try and do something about that. But I think the end game here now, or end game, sorry, the end result, or end tactic, if you will, is basically to try and get myself an alliance running here with Karakonlu, because it's going to be necessary to just have some sort of defense. I need to have someone protecting my ass, and if it's Karakonlu, I'm pretty sure we can destroy the Timurids here. If I go for instance, this a really cheap province, Balm is the one base tax province that I can then use to most likely create Persia from. Let's just be honest, it would be wonderful if I can just start going west right now and not worry too much about the east. That would actually be really, really good. So I think what we're actually going to do is that the Timurids do already have an incredible amount of debt. Let's just be honest, the debt that they have is scary high, and I don't think they have fixed anything about that yet. They had 2,000 ducats the last time we checked, and if I can drag Karakonlu into a war with the Timurids, then I'm pretty sure a lot of other people will consider joining in. The Timurids is kind of scary due to the fact that you have 40,000 manpower, 32,000 troops, but they should be running thin. I think it's high time that they started running thin, especially considering the money issues. Karakonlu has 24,000, so they're not completely weak either. And Bengal actually has a whopping 24,000 as well, as in a shared third place here. So I should probably consider moving my my diplomatic guidance towards Bengal and trying to get myself an alliance there to dismantle the rest of, well, everything. If I can get an alliance with Bengal, then finding Gujarat and Baluchistan at the same time should be a walk in the park. That's basically just how things are. Going too over on diplomatic power to do that, that's a little bit risky. But the royal marriages, I can't really break them without getting into trouble stability-wise. So I think it's probably for the best to just allow them to run their own course. But let's face it, alliance with Bengal with 24,000 men, alliance with Karakonlu will more or less defend me in both directions, and thus I should be to some degree perfectly safe. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to declare war here now on Gujarat, more or less, with the goal of bringing in Baluchistan, annexing Baluchistan, annexing Gujarat, I think, or taking as much as we can, hand it over to Meva, or core of ourselves. We'll probably call this one ourselves, something like that. And then I'll aim at vassalizing Bamanis again. They have still a lot of cores in the area and could be really, really useful. So I think Myanmar has more or less run down its usage as a vassal and will most likely be annexed. Patiala will most likely be used for, well, Delhi if I get into position to, well, wage war with them or against them. I'll have to see here. Malwa is allying with Bengal and Delhi. So basically, we now have a very interesting time coming ahead of us. I have my double alliance on each side. We are the triple force, if you will. Still, I'm the weaker part, but we'll hopefully change that. A war against Timurids this early could definitely be useful if I get Persia. Then I can just spam rebels, try and bring up the war exhaustion, and boom, I suddenly have a complete Persia without, well, minor bloodshed. And then I can hopefully march through Karakorum, get to Mamluks, and worst case scenario, westernize with Ottoman tech. But we'll have to see. Hopefully I get to Europe this way. It's kind of a risky move, as I said, because if you colonize around, it will be costly and it will take some time, but you basically know what you're getting. This is more or less a, well, bigger gamble, but it should be interesting. Could be a lot more fun. So again, I wouldn't really recommend this. I would recommend a colonizing route, but we'll see how it goes. So Beijing is under the Yan. So Ming has already actually imploded here into you, Min, Yan. It's actually positive. It means it will be a lot easier to get Hong Kong, for instance, and conquer the land, but never seen that happen before. Never seen it implode that early into its minor states. It's going to be interesting to see how that works out, but Ottomans, for instance. Do I want to start improving relations with the Ottomans already? Probably, but we'll not be wasting a diplomat on that just yet. Anyways, feel free to comment in comments, praise, criticism, anything you feel like, and we'll continue this next time. Bye.